It is gratifying indeed that most statements delivered in the morning session before voting were positive in their essence, reasonable in their approach, and exposing the actual intentions of some sponsors. Only 2 or 3 delegations deviated from this, at best. Their statements reflected clearly their capitals' wish to perpetuate the Syrian crisis, exacerbate it, and impede any consensual political solution thereto, let alone their public standing against the growing international trend towards arriving at a consensual Syrian political solution that satisfies the interests, demands, and aspirations of the Syrian people. Proceeding from our belief in this political solution and keenness on preserving the interests of our people, we will not fall into the trap of provocation and wrangling. Rather, we will deal with the essence of the question with a high national responsibility. The low number of the supporters of the resolution that was voted at the end of the morning session and the increase of states not supporting it clearly compared to the previous resolution, this indicates the growing international understanding of the dimensions and characteristics of what is transpiring in Syria, such as external interference, sponsoring terrorism, proliferation of radicalism, and reciting the rejection of dialogue. We hope that the United Nations and its member states will support Syria and its people to encounter the culture of radicalism and terrorism and encouraging comprehensive national dialogue for a peaceful solution to the crisis. At the same time, we expect the United Nations and its member states to read the roadmap of current events quite accurately, away from the interests of some inside and outside the region, in a manner that preserves the principles of international law and the aspirations of the Syrian people for living with dignity in its homeland. The pains of our people are higher than the designs and plans of those who trade in the pains in the markets of blood, terrorism, radicalism, and collaboration. Permit me to make some remarks and to share them with you while refuting the misleading allegations in some statements. All of us should realize that despite the fact that Qatar procedurally presented the resolution, yet it is well known to all of us that the resolution or the draft was not Qatari, and Qatar was only a tool for implementation. It is no secret that the regimes of Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and Turkey persist in financing jihadi transnational terrorism. The UN representative al-Ibrahimi, in his latest briefing before the Security Council, stated that 40,000 foreign terrorists exist and shed blood in Syria, among those, more than one Takfiri Salafi Europeans who belong to the Al-Qaeda exist there. In my statement this morning, I stated that Qatari intelligence are involved in kidnapping members of the Filipino battalion working in UNDOF. I also stated that senior officials in the Secretariat are well aware of this atrocious crime. It was quite strange that the Secretary General stated, and I quote, his appreciation for the assistance tendered by Qatar and others involved in securing safe release of the 4 members of peacekeeping, end of quote. The important question which must be posed is, how is it possible for Qatar to have such considerable influence on terrorist groups that abducted peacekeepers, had it not been for its considerable involvement and with those groups? To what extent is the position of the Secretariat position correspond with this Qatari involvement in abducting peacekeepers and endangering their lives? Who will hold Qatari authorities responsible for their rashness? Perhaps my colleague, the permanent representative of Saudi Arabia, did not hear well the contents of my statement. Hence, I refer him to read the statement anew. It is available in English and in Arabic. In this connection, I would like to state that the Saudi representative was doubly wrong. First, when he presented an erroneous account of what is going on in my country. This is not strange, given the full involvement by his country's authorities in terrorism and exacerbating the situation in Syria. The second mistake is that he attributed to me words that I never uttered, and hence he built on it erroneous outcomes that correspond with his erroneous reading. I would like to remind my colleagues here that the French delegation foiled the adoption or the issuance by the Security Council of numerous press releases that condemn terrorist acts perpetrated by terrorist armed groups linked with Al-Qaeda that killed thousands of innocent Syrians, including foiling by the French delegation the adoption or issuance of press release that condemns the attempt to assassinate the president of the Syrian government, or the Prime Minister. This is unprecedented hypocrisy by the government of France. How is it possible that it claims that it launches war against terrorist groups linked with Al-Qaeda in Sahel and in Africa at a time it encourages, sponsors, and backs the activities of the same terrorist groups in Syria? French security forces more than a year ago killed a French terrorist descended from Morocco. His name is Mohammed Marrah. For the assassination of that terrorist, it conscripted 3,000 top intelligence agents, and they shot him with thousands of bullets into his body. Here, the French representative speaks impromptu today, claiming that the Syrian government attacks its people. If combating terrorism in France is lawful, combating terrorism anywhere else is lawful by the same standards. We in Syria fight the same terrorism fought by the French government on its territory. Hence, this French hypocrisy has become exposed and degraded in the eyes of anybody who believes in the provisions of international law. Thank you, Madam President.